Hello everyone, Vickieverlie here, the Rock and Roll Prophetess. Today we're going to take a look at the new moon chart for July, which is happening on July 5th, 2024, 6:57 p.m. Eastern, but times will vary depending on your location in the world. It's a new moon in Cancer. Typically we get one new moon and one full moon in each sign throughout the year. Sometimes there's exceptions. There's actually exceptions coming up later this month where we have our second Capricorn full moon, but this is going to be the new moon in Cancer. This is a psychic or intuitive astrology reading. It's based in astrology, but I do get many messages, downloads, and even some songs from my guides as we warm up and go through it. This is how they influence for everyone. If you know your own chart, then you can maybe put it into how it may affect you personally, but this is sort of a overall energy vortex. Well, it's funny I said energy vortex because it is too. An energy vortex, but an energy forecast is what I was trying to say for the collective. And hopefully there'll be some messages and downloads and insights that you can use. All right, so here's what's happening. We've got the new moon happening here at 14 degrees, 23 minutes of the sign of Cancer. So it's in the fourth house. Typically this is Cancer energy, is about home, family. In the U.S. it's going to be 4th of July weekend-ish, or day after 4th of July. So we're going to have cookouts and, gathering of family and friends and things like this. Everybody brings a dish, usually brings some food. And it's just that, it's kind of even a continuation of the energy initiated at the solstice, which was, a week or two before, which I still am offering the solstice reading. If you want to find out how this Cancer energy might affect you in more depth and the upcoming season, you could take a look at that on my website. But it's kind of a continuation of that solstice energy. And what's interesting is the solstice is what we call a cardinal ingress. Okay, I'm going to bring a blank chart up to explain it more. So the cardinal signs consist of Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, and Aries. So we've got a cardinal cross happen. That's a cardinal cross, all right? And anytime the sun moves into any of the cardinal signs, that initiates that change of season, okay? So what's interesting here about this chart, well, we even have Ceres at 14, but it's making a square with the nodes of fate, and Lilith here too, to some extent. We'll put Lilith in there. So we've got the Capricorn, the Cancer, the Libra, Aries. So that cardinal cross is very much activated. I mean, it's always activated when the sun goes zero Cancer at the seasonal beginning, but it's activated here too. So it's, again, it's this energy of we can turn a corner, we can start a new season in our life or in an area of our life. We can enter into a new paradigm, and it really is an energy vortex of a sort. Of course, the nodes, we have the north node in Libra with Lilith, and then we have the south node in Aries. I mean, other way around, north node in Aries, south node in Libra with Lilith. So this has been going on. We're more than halfway through it, because when the nodes make a transit, they start at 29 and they work their way down to 0. And then they go 29 and work their way down to 0. So it's all the way down to 10. So it's been, we've been in there for a little while here. And we got a little ways to go into next year still. But we're working with this energy of Aries, of I'm the individual. I'm going to forge my own path. I'm going to be the trailblazer. I'm going to light the way. I'm going to be the first in line. I'm going to be looking out for number one, trying new and innovative things. But we're always carrying around the baggage of the South Node, okay? Now, the South Node in Libra has a lot to do with relationships. And I've been feeling like this is kind of this whole nodal transit in these signs. By the way, this happens cyclically. So you've experienced it before. If you have interest in that nodal stuff, because it determines the eclipses also. That's why we're having eclipses in Aries and in Libra, because that's where the nodes are. But you may want to go back and revisit these time frames. These are the other time frames in recent history where we've had this before. The end of, so might as well just say 2005 into 2006, 86 to 87, 67 to 69, and so on and so forth. It goes back further to 19 years. So every 19 years it goes back. But sometimes revisiting those other time frames can be very enlightening. And I always bring it up in the reading, especially if you're getting a personal reading and we see something like this, a big nodal thing, I will definitely bring that up. And I even advise people to really, go deep with it. Like take a piece of paper or a spreadsheet on your computer, whatever the case may be, old school, like a piece of paper, and fold it into columns, write those dates at the top. Because you could just easily dismiss it and say, oh yeah, 05, that's the year this happened, end of story. No, you want to, if you really want to figure things out and how you can do better and how you can get more aligned with your highest calling or your true north, which is a lot of what the nodes are about. These are these points of fate, nodes of fate, right? You got to go deeper than that. You got to say, well, who was I then? Especially with Aries, who was I then? What was I like? What was I like? How did I behave? What was my thinking process? How did I behave towards others? It's not all. Yes, you take in what happened, outside influences, what happened during those times, what happened to me, but also who was I? How did I deal with it? What did I initiate? And if you've initiated some big thing, often it's come full circle. Many people, when you're having a nodal transit, this is stuff I go into in the soul reading a lot because it deals with past life. But I also, if you get the Ingress reading and you have some kind of big nodal transit, we'll dive in. But often they have children. Very often there's big nodal connections that run through families. And then when your kid is 19 and they're going off to college or whatever, they're getting a job. That whole cycle has been complete. You raised a human. So it's like that. It's these big. It's these big cycles, On the south node end of it, the south node is always but it's like the energy of this nodal axis, which is so activated right now, is like, how can I be the individual, but yet how can I still be a partnership? How can this is the other people, this is partnerships, this is compromise, this is doing things in balance, not just being all about me, what I want. But how can I do that? And where do I draw the line? Where do I draw the line at, well, I'm willing to sacrifice this much of myself or this much of my life for, for relationship, for family, for friends, whatever the case. Or is it a case of, no, I'm not willing to do that anymore, and I want to cut ties? I don't know if I've been watching this show, I've been thinking about it because the season finale is on tonight, and it's called Dark Matter. It's on Apple TV, and it's really good. It's like a metaphor, actually, for how we create our reality, is what it is. But in the show, or it was a book apparently, I've not read the book yet, but he goes in this box. And his whole mindset and everything determines what kind of world he, I was going to say wakes up in, but comes out of the box into. But it's like that, Every day we wake up and our mindset, determines it all. But in some of these lifetimes, he was a big selfish prick, and all he cared about was himself. And yeah, he had a lot of success, and he didn't give anything to his relationships, And therefore, he had a lot of success, but in his personal life, he didn't, And there's another version, the original version that we meet in the story, who, did do family and didn't take the big job or the big appointment because he wanted to be a family man. So it's like this dichotomy that we all face. We all need people in our lives. We all want those relationships, but yet we all want to shine as an individual, and we all want to forge our own path. With the Cancer energy infused in this, we bring the Cancer energy in here. It's like, just be loving, be real. It's not about drama. It's not about show. It's about going into that place and, maybe even going into your shell and really getting in that place of, what does nurture me the most? How can I find that nurturing, that peace? How can I Venus and with all this? How can I love myself, but without being a selfish prick, and alienating others? In some instances, because Lilith is in the mix, and Lilith you know, she's a force to be reckoned with. She's not very Librian, if that's a word. Very Libra-like. You know, Lilith is the, you know, well, she was the original feminist, I see her as, you know. But she also, you know, she kind of hardened her heart a little. You know, she definitely hardened her heart. And, you know, fought the good fight and all this kind of stuff. But she had to be hard and strong, you know. And she walked alone because she wouldn't make herself less than. She said, no, I'm not going to be less than. I'm not going to play second fiddle to Adam. She's from the original Adam and Eve story, right? She was Adam's first wife. And she didn't want to be subservient. She didn't want to dominate him either necessarily. She just wanted equality, you know. So with the Libra, we bring in the balance, but Lilith maybe can get you a little more fired up, because Lilith is, you know, she wants she can withstand a lot, you know. She withstood a lot, and it's just finding balance between that. The squares can be a rough thing to navigate. And then the series, you know, that's also very nurturing. That's the food and all that stuff too. It's opposing the series. I mean, it could be really a mundane level. Oh, we're going to go to this house, your family's house, my family's house. Negotiating those kinds of things out. I mean, I say mundane, but like maybe that's not technically the right term. But I'm just like everyday kind of, well, we're going to go to your parents or my in-laws, or whose house we're going to go to on 4th of July. I mean, it could be just that. But if you want to take it deeper, if you want to go a little further down the rabbit hole, we can always, you know, I'm always down for that too. Let's take a look at some of these other aspects that are going on right now. We got Mercury opposed to Pluto. So, yeah, the words, Mercury's conjunct the vertex, though, and Vesta, but really dead tight on the vertex. For the Eastern time chart, anyway. I mean, those of you that are looking for, there could be some there could be life-changing things said, all right? Don't say something that you regret with Pluto. Even, you know, with a child, too. With your loved ones, your 5th house, but also with a child. Watch what you say to kids. Again, I've brought this up before. Don't be that person that wounds that child for life, you know? Don't say that mean, cruel thing, or shatter their illusions, or shatter their dreams, or whatever. You know, think about it when you're around kids. But secondly, you know, 5th house is romance for sure, and there could be, you know, maybe you go to some kind of in the States here, you go to some kind of 4th of July event, Mercury right around your neighborhood or right in your town somewhere, the neighboring town, and you meet somebody that changes your life with maybe a different group of people, you know, different, out of the norm of what you usually do. You know, maybe you're forgoing the family picnic and you're going to go to, you know, the fireworks display or parade in the town or something, you know, some other kind of event, you know, where there's a lot of other different people. You know, if some of you were looking, were fun events, Leo, you know, fun party, celebratory things are happening there. You know, something could rock your world, just totally rock your world. But you have to venture out of your normal, you know, be willing to venture out. Be willing to be not only the Aries that explore, but also be willing to change and do things a little different. Mix it up. Mix it up. Well, the Jupiter is sextiling with the nodes. They have it down here too. So yeah, there's, you know, the Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter in Gemini is, you know, a great time for conversation. People will be, you know, you could go somewhere where you don't know anybody, you know, in this new situation, and you know, the Jupiter's still trining the Pluto, and it's like, yeah, I just struck up a conversation with this person, and you know, next thing you know, they said, hey, we're going to this other party or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go, and next thing you know, you're having a great time, and conversation flows, conversations goes well. In the solstice chart, the Mercury is conjunct with here, but it's already moved on. But it's also doing a sextile to Jupiter too. And so Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, so there's that tie-in. So there's that flowing conversation, fun, just cracking it up, shooting the shit, just having a blast, shooting the shit. Witty banter, my guides come through with. Here's my language, shooting the shit. And here's the guides, witty banter. Well, that's how you know, hey, starting to channel, that's how you know that those messages aren't from you when it's like completely different. Just somebody that's you like to have fun with and talk with, and conversation flows, and you have a few laughs, and it's not taking life so seriously. It's like just hanging and rolling and hanging, rolling with it. The Saturn, I mean, it's not quite in there with the Neptune yet, but it's making a nice, really good trine to this Venus here. From the Cancer energy to the Pisces energy. And there could be some old soul connections definitely made, if that's something that you're into and that's something that you're thinking about or looking for. Or, it could be where you feel you found home. That's what they're saying. You know right away that you found home. You feel at home with them, you feel comfortable with them, and there's this old soul connection at the same time with the Saturn and Pisces. There's this old soul remembrance on some level, even if you don't call it that, or just we talked 5 minutes. There's a talking, and I felt like I knew him my whole life. There's that old expression. Well, it's stuff like this that'll initiate these kinds of things. We still have the Neptune sextiling with the Uranus too. So, dreams can happen. Dreams can happen that you never thought possible. Don't poo-poo anything. Don't make anything like, oh, no way that could happen. Keep it light and bright. We're getting all this new moon in Cancer, yeah, and the Venus is there, but we're getting into the Leo time now, and the Leo time in July is going to be ushering that in. Venus is going to be joining these guys pretty soon. So it's fun in the sun, in the northern hemisphere. It's having that playful interaction, having a laugh with somebody. The guy just said having a pint. I don't drink, but if you do, maybe having a pint. But there's this. Don't hold so tightly. I think that's a big thing that Uranus in Taurus has done that is good for us, maybe. Don't hold so tightly to your staunch beliefs and your staunch fixity, being so fixed and stubborn and no, this is how it is, or, whatever, on those kind of lines. Lighten up a little bit. Lighten up a little bit, allow for, because there's a flow happening here. There's this beautiful sextile. There's a flow. Uranus rules the higher realms, like in space and stars and planets and astral travel and stuff. And then Neptune also rules the deeper consciousness. So both are not really of this earth plane here, Both are not really of the earth plane. They're coming at, there's different channels of energy or ways of connecting. Uranus is, again, more space-aged, outer space. This is from within. This is the subconscious mind. This is the deep thoughts, the deep, the dreams. But they have a similarity to them, Astral travel just popped into my head. Astral traveling could be kind of a big thing right now here, going on for people. Saturn's also trining with Pallas. I didn't catch that. So we got a grand trine between Saturn, Pallas, and Venus. Well, Pallas also is. Pallas is very Uranian. Pallas Athena. She's also a warrior. She was a warrior, so she's got that Aries energy too. Is it Minerva? Is that right? The guides are telling me, are they trying to tell me Minerva? Which god? I have to look that up real quick. Minerva. Goddess. No, not girls basketball. Goddess. It's a Roman goddess of wisdom, justice, law, victory, and the sponsor of the arts, trade, and strategy. She's also the goddess of warfare. Is that the other name of... is Minerva, Pallas, are they the same? I should say counterpart instead of trying to go through all this stuff. What's the... hang with me here. No, it's Athena. Pallas Athena, yeah. Okay, see, now I did not know that. I mean, I might have learned it in 5th grade, like 100 years ago. But I did not know that. It's funny that it came through that way as Minerva. Yeah. So that is her other counterpart, her name there. Well, maybe I was just supposed to read a little bit of this or get a little bit more insight of the tale of Minerva, snake and the olive tree are some of the highlighted things. Poetry, medicine, wisdom, commerce, weaving, and crafts. Okay. Yeah, with her Greek goddess Athena. There you go. Alright, well, anyways. And she's depicted, even in here, in the Wikipedia page. You know, I'll pull it up so you guys can see. You know, she's depicted as this woman warrior. You know, she's wearing the battle helmet and all that stuff. So be the warrior. She's bringing the power in, the feminine power. Venus in Cancer is very much the, you know, the mother energy. You know, very much that energy. The Empress in the tarot, for instance. And then Saturn can be the father, but in the sign of Pisces, it's different. But it just feels like, you know, it's like we were saying before with the Libra. There's a balance. It's, you know, it's all the feminine archetypes. You know, well, not all of them, but you know, a good measure of two very different. This is the Cancer is the woman who stays home, raises the kids, does the cooking. You know, our old paradigm, our patriarchal view of women and mothers, right? And that takes care of the home. And then she's the warrior out fighting the battles. And then Saturn's the father. But Saturn in Pisces is the wise elder father. It's not the old paradigm, you know, the patriarchal father. It's the wise one who lets them be them, who loves them for who they are. I want to say mother and daughter, you know, mother and daughter, and realizes that they're very different. They're very different people, but yet there's room for everybody at the table. You know, we're all different, but there's room for everybody. And taking this Saturn and Pisces can exude this energy of honor, of being very honorable and honoring everyone, you know, honoring us all and honoring everyone. Well, you know, on a lower level, again, if you are at a family picnic and your racist grandfather's there, or, you know, there's those kind of scenarios too, you know, or whatever, bigoted, whoever, or politics. You know, people start talking about, let's not go there, you know. Let's honor our connection. Let's honor that we are family. We are all human family here, you know. And, you know, let's indulge in the abundance of that. Indulge in the abundance of being human, being in the human vessel, and with all its frailties and you know, all its I keep wanting to say errors, but okay, errors, but that's not the word I'm looking for. They keep coming through with errors. All its errors, and, you know, to err is human, to forgive divine, maybe that's what they want me to say. You know, all its faults, all its shortcomings, that's what I was trying to get to. Yeah, but it could be a really beautiful time. And, you know, maybe try something a little different. If you always do the same thing, you know, expecting the same thing and doing the same thing and expecting a different result, definition of insanity. You know, it's a good one. I think it's Einstein who said that. I could be wrong. But anyways, yeah. So it's a beautiful time. And here's this, we've got also the 19, we've got old Miss Juno over here. So she's a mother of the gods too. I missed that. Yeah, so we've got these feminine archetypes here. And each is different and unique, but each is of value and is to be honored, you know, in there for what they bring to the table and what they bring to the earth and what they bring to humanity, because all have a place. Okay? Alright, I think that about wraps it up. So this is a reading. Again, I am offering that solstice reading, which we dive into this Cancer energy and dive into the season. It's probably the last astrology reading for the year, I'm thinking, because then at the end of the year I do the year ahead readings, which is a little astrology and tarot. But if you want to see where you're sitting in the sky right now, and in this kind of a reading where we do a little bit of a psychic astrology and a little bit of the guides chime in, and we also pull an animal totem for you too. You know, check that out. It's available through my website, and there's other readings too, and my new coloring book's out, and a whole bunch of stuff. By contributing, and maybe if you like coloring, you can get the coloring book, and it's something fun for you to do, or even your child or whoever. And, you know, you get a little joy out of it. I get about $2 from it, so, you know, it all adds up. But there's ways, and by liking and sharing and commenting, and please hitting the like button, because, again, there are trolls or bots, whatever, but I mean, these videos go live and they're not even live for 30 seconds and it's getting thumbs down. So there's some kind of energy that's, if it's a bot or some people, or I don't know what it is, and I don't really want to know. I'm not going to, but I do know that by you just liking or throwing an emoji, even a little heart, or, you know, anything in the comment there, that activates that algorithm, and then that gets the message out to more people. And I appreciate that. Okay. I looked down and it says July A, but I saw Julia. So maybe this is a message for somebody out there named Julia, or you know, you may be involvement with somebody named Julia. You can let me know that one in the comments too. Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. I have a great solstice. Well, it's not the solstice. A little after. A great July 5th new moon in Cancer. July 4th if you're in the States. Remember, you're your love and beauty incarnate, and I'll be back again soon. Till then, bye.